All right, Shalom Yasharallah. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders. At Great Millstone, that teach every well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. We're back with another video, another lesson. And title is More on Hell and Eternal Destruction. All right, and I just want to bring some quick edification out on the hell doctrine, which is a false doctrine, and eternal destruction. All right, for those who are new, and it's this is a doctrine that's still being preached by other camps. Some camps believe in the hell doctrine, which that's false, like we always bring out, and the eternal destruction. All right, which eternal destruction is not that's going to be the America, Babylon the Great, which is going to be a lake of fire. All right, but it's going to burn for a period of time. All right, it's not going to burn forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and forever and ever. All right, it will show you that. All right, to give you some clarity. All right, so first I want to start with Matthew 23, and I'm sorry, Matthew 23. I'm gonna start at 31. It reads, "This is Yahushua going in on the scribes and the Pharisees." Right. It says, "Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets." All right. It says, "Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell?" All right. So when people see that, they thinking of, oh, it's a it's a place where you go and you burn forever and ever and ever. No. All right. You look up that word hell. And hell in the New Testament is one of the words is Gehenna, which we're looking at now, and I believe the other one is Hades. All right, so the word hell is gonna have different meanings. Okay, so this is the word hell. Salakia. The word hell is Gehenna. All right, Gehenna, and it says hell is the place of the future punishment called Gehenna, or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and the dead of the Salakia, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned. It also says a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. All right, it says future destruction. All right, so Yahushua was saying, how can you escape the damnation of hell? How can you escape your future destruction? All right, what's that destruction going to come through those ICBM missiles? All right, because there's a such thing as, I ain't want to get into that, but reincarnation. All right, real quick, Matthew 16. I want to read this in 28. "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." All right, now how can that happen? Because back then, they all, all those who were with Yahushua, who seen Yahushua, that was his real name, by the way. All right, it wasn't Jesus Christ. His real name was Yahushua, or he was a Hebrew. From when he came as a man, he came through the loins of a man. His physical father was Joseph, who was from the tribe of Judah. All right, and brothers got videos on that. But he says, "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." All right, and how does that happen? Like I said, through reincarnation. Okay, so also you got the reincarnation. You got some of those who will be, who are destined to be delivered, but you got also those who will be destroyed. Right, so going back to Matthew 23. All right, it says, "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell?" The word damnation. All right, Croesus.
Strong's G 2920, Croesus.
And it reads a separating, separation, a trial, contest, selection, judgment, Okay. It says opinion or decision given concerning anything. All right. Sentence of condemnation, damnatory judgment, condemnation and punishment. All right. So it says the College of Judges, a tribunal of 7 men in the several cities of Palestine, yada, yada, yada. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. So it's a judgment. All right. The Lord is saying, how can you escape judgment? That's going to happen to you. All right. And I looked up the Valley of Hinnom. Look at this. It says the Valley of Hinnom, or Gehenna, was a valley located southwest of Jerusalem. And in the New Testament, right, it says, Salakia, it says, and in the New Testament, it became a symbol for hell. Historically, it was known for being a site of child sacrifice to the god Molech, and later it was used as a garbage dump and sewer. Yahushua, they say Jesus, used the imagery of the valley to describe the eternal punishment of hell. All right, and we're gonna, show you that hell, which hell just means the grave, right? Let's get the book of Jonah. Where is it at? Jonah 2, and one that says, then Jonah prayed unto the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, his God, out of the fish's belly. And I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. You look at this word hell in the Hebrew, right? It's Sha'awal. All right, Sha'awal. It says Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit. So the hell just means the grave. All right, when you die, you go into hell. You go into the grave. Not literally, you go to a place burning with fire, because the Lord is merciful. Let's get Psalms. All right, it's at 136. You read that. You can read that whole chapter. Psalms 136 and 1. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. The Lord has mercy. All right, he's not gonna let his people who he chose to be the top nation of the world to go into hell. Right? And you people, that shows that you Israelites don't have mercy. Right? Let's get so I just want to bring that out, location and boundaries. The Hinnom Valley is situated southwest of Jerusalem, separating Mount Zion from the hill of Evil Counsel. They also serve as a boundary between the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. All right, Tophet. And you can go more into it if you want. Right here it says name change and symbolism. The prophet Jeremiah announced a name change, likely in response to the evil practices, and it became associated with Valley of Wailing, the Greek term Gehenna, all right, from Gehinnom, because the New Testament word for hell became the New Testament word for hell. I'm sorry. It says the valley also served as Jerusalem's garbage dump and sewer, contributing to the stretch and unpleasant conditions that further solidified its negative connotations. All right, and it says Yahushua used the valley's association with fire, all right, refuse and punishment as a metaphor for the eternal punishment of hell, which hell is going to be the destruction that comes to America and those who are left behind, burning. Right, let's get this Revelation 14 to show you. This is Revelation 14 and 11. I'll start at 9, right? The title says doom for worshipers of the beast. All right, the beast system, which is currently America, NATO, EU, right? Which America is Rome, right? That's another video for another day. And brothers got videos on that too. Revelation 14 and 9, right? It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, all right, the beast is what? The beast is the revived Roman Empire, which today is through NATO and the EU. You look at the Treaty of Rome, right? NATO, the EU, and America, right? And his image. The image is the system, right? And receive his mark, which is the RFID hip, in his forehead or in his hand. the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the heavenly Father, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. What's that fire and brimstone? In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That fire and brimstone is going to be those ICBM missiles, man. All right, that's going to bring that fire, right? In 2 Peter, is it 3? Yes. This is 2 Peter 3 and 7. But the heavens, I'll read 6, but it says, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. That was the first death, the flood, right? In Noah's day. It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now, the present heavens and the earth, by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire, okay, unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Let's read that in the NLT version. It says, and by the same word, the present heavens and earth have been stored up for fire. They are being kept for the day of judgment when ungodly people will be destroyed. All right, and that fire is those missiles. Okay, it's not gonna be no hell. It's not gonna be no, eternal, lake of fire. All right, it's gonna be those missiles coming when the Lord is gonna put the spirit on these nations to launch their missiles towards America, America, Babylon the Great. All right, so going back to Revelation 14 and 11, and it says, in the smoke, all right, in the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now you look at this word, forever and ever. All right, people see it and see. It says forever and ever. Well, let's read it. The Greek word is aeon.
Strong's G 165. Ion
or aeon, But it says forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity. All right, the world's universe. Down here it says period of time. All right, age. Okay, so America is not gonna burn forever and ever. All right, it's gonna burn for then that happened to what's that place called? Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, and this is one that Elder Yashawamba brings out. Wisdom of Solomon 10, the 10th chapter. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10, right? In verse 6, wisdom rescued Lot, all right? It says, wisdom rescued a righteous man while ungodly people were dying. He escaped the flames that destroyed the 5 cities. You can still see the evidence of their wickedness. The land there is barren and smoking. The plants bear fruit that never ripens. And the pillar of salt stands as a monument to one who did not believe. And that's talking about Lot's wife. The people of those cities ignored wisdom and could not tell right from wrong. Not only that, but the remains of their cities still remind us of the foolish way they lived, so that their failure can never be forgotten. But wisdom rescued her servants from danger. So this is a monument of ungodly people, how they live. That's gonna be the same way for America. All right. So is Sodom and Gomorrah still burning? Not literally, but like I said, it's a monument. Spiritually, it is. Okay. We can actually read that in the let's read that in the KJV version. Excuse me. In verse 6, it says, when the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire, which fell down upon the 5 cities. It says, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony. Let's read that again. Verse 7, it says, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness. And the standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul. For regarding not wisdom, they get not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much be hid, but wisdom delivered, all right, from pain those that attended upon her. You see, so this is gonna be a memorial when America is burning, gonna be done away with. It's gonna be a memorial to the world, all right, of how not to be, of how not to live. All right, so going back into this, so forever and never doesn't mean eternally. It just means a period of time, just like how, Sodom and Gomorrah was. It's going to burn for a period of time. Jude, let's get Jude. Jude 1 and 7, right? I'm sorry. The book of Jude, all right, 1 verse 7, it says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, same way today, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire, right? Eternal fire. What does eternal mean? Eternal fire. Eternal. The Greek word is aionios. Aionios. It says without beginning, without end, never to cease, everlasting, right? It says perpetual, also used of past time or past future as well. All right, but let's get the root word. Ion, period of time. Okay, so it says a period of time, age. All right, meaning what? It's gonna burn for Sodom and Gomorrah only burned for a period of time, or was set on. It was the destruction is still there, but it burned for a certain amount of time. It didn't burn forever and ever. We'll see the NLT says. Verse 7, it says, and don't forget Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, which were filled with immorality and every kind of sexual perversion. Those cities were destroyed by fire. See, those cities were destroyed by fire and serve as a warning of the eternal fire of God's judgment. All right, the eternal fire of God's judgment. So Sodom and Gomorrah burned for a period of time. It didn't burn forever and ever and ever and ever. All right, as we show you. And it's going to be the same way for America. I believe it's let me see if I can find that. Is it 19? Let me see. Is it 20? No. Let me see. That's good. But where we at with it? So yeah, America's gonna burn for, not gonna burn eternally. It's gonna burn for only a period of time. All right, let's get that Matthew. Let's get Matthew 5 and 19, right? Let's read this. It says, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments shall teach and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But wait a minute, I thought you go to hell, right? if you're going to teach the least commandments, you're teaching them, the least commandments. You're teaching to break them. Shouldn't you go to hell? Right. But it says, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be great, shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. You see? Let's read that in the NLT version. It says, verse 19. So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you'll be called the least. You'll be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But anyone who obeys God's laws and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So showing you, and that proves that there's no hell. All right. That shows you that there's no such place as an eternal, all right, spiritual place where your soul goes and burns forever and never. It says if you ignore and you teach the least. Let's read it again. So lock you. So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, if you teaching others to do the same thing, you will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But shouldn't you go to hell for that? You know, these are the Lord's commandments. These are God's laws. So shouldn't you be burning forever somewhere? You know? So hopefully, you know, that was, you know, edifying for you brothers and you sisters out there to show you that there's no hell. All right, you're because like I said, the Lord is merciful. Let me get this real quick. I'm sorry. Romans, right? This is Romans 11. Because yeah, the those who are left behind, you know, the 2/3 of Israel, you know, the other nations will burn, you know, in this, you know, lake of fire here in America. But all Israel will be saved. And how's that gonna happen? This is Romans 11:26. And so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, Yahushai, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. You see? So all Israel is going to be saved eventually. All Israel, all right, all 12 tribes will be in the kingdom of heaven. Or even the other nations, they're not going to be burning in hell. They're going to be in the kingdom of heaven too, but they're going to be slaves and servants. Even Esau, he's going to get, you know, some form of mercy. He's not going to burn in hell though. But he eventually, after 1,000 years of their punishment, of their slavery, they're going to be done away with. The Lord's going to get rid of them. You know, we don't know what he's going to do, but we know that the nation of Edom will be no more. So, Lord willing, it was edifying, you know, and you got something out of this. We're going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and that was a great millstone. Peace and salutation to the whole full elect. Lord, are you edified? To this video, I'm going to say, Shalom.